Today we're going to show you how to actually use the horizon and the perspective lines at the vanishing point, and how to take the element and put it into a couple of different backgrounds to test whether or not that element actually would fit in that background based on the horizon of the different backgrounds. So the first thing that you need to do, obviously, is to cut the element out. In this case, we're going to use this car. And you need to have the vanishing point and the horizon for the element. To save some time in this video, I've already taken the liberties of creating those vanishing points and horizon lines for this car for us. And I have them each on their own layer. So we can go ahead and turn off the original picture's background, and we will just use this folder here where we have the car cutout, we have its horizon, and we have its two vanishing point verticals. In order to take this cutout and put it into a different background to see if it would fit, we have to be able to pick up the cutout along with its lines. The best way to do that is to put all those things into a folder, which I've done here. And then if you have your Move tool selected and you go over here to this setting, and instead of selecting a layer, you say select the group, you'll see now when I pick up this folder, I pick up all of the elements within that folder. If I had my background on in a different file, that's the best way to pick up the whole grouping and move it over to a different file. Again, for this demonstration, I have brought the different backgrounds into this file so that we can demo them here, and I do not have to move this grouping. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on another background. Let's turn our car off for a minute. Turn on a background, and you'll see, again, I've already defined the horizon line for this background. Now, some might say, well, the horizon should be way up here at the top where these trees are hitting the clouds. Well, in some images, you see where the sky hits the ground, and you say, well, that's the horizon. And that's true when you're at sea level. But if you are not at sea level, the true horizon may be somewhere else in the picture. In this case, there's actually a river running down here, and the true horizon in this particular image is down here at the ground, not up here with these mountains that are behind in the image. So this is the true horizon line for this image. Now let's turn our car back on, and as you can see, first of all, the car is very large. But what we would do in order to test to see if this car could actually fit into this picture is we would pick up all of these elements and we would set the vanishing point right here for our element on the horizon of the new picture. And then we would look at it and say, well, does it look like it fits? Well, in this particular picture, it really doesn't look like it fits. It kind of looks like it's floating in the air. If we wanted to make the car a little smaller to test to see if maybe if it was smaller, it would fit better, this is how you would change the size of the element, but keep it in perspective. Select your car, go into the transform mode, Control T, pick up this center element of your transformation and set it right at the vanishing point of your element. By hitting Control 0, you'll zoom out so that you can easily see the handles of your entire element. Now hold down both the Shift or Option key and drag the element in. As you can see, as I drag in and out, the car is actually scaling on the perspective verticals based on where this point is on the horizon. So let's make the car a little smaller right there. Let's get to that. And let's look at it again. Does the car look any better in this image because we made it a little bit smaller? To me, it still looks like it's floating in the air. This is a good example of how this car with this perspective just does not fit in this image. Now, another thing to note is, while I cannot bring this car forward without messing up its perspective, I can move it side to side as long as I keep the car's vanishing point on that green line. But no matter where I set this car along that horizon line, it still appears to be floating in the air. And that's because the horizon line of the car and the horizon line of this background image do not match. Let's go back before our transformation and let's check another background. So let's turn this background off and let's look at a different background. So now we have this car and we have this blue background on this field. And let's set our car, again, picking up the car, and let's set its vanishing point and horizon on the blue line. Now when we look at that car, it really does look like it fits in that picture. And if we do a Control-T again, let's zoom out again with Control-0 so we can see the handles of our transformation. Pick up our spot in the middle and set it on the horizon. Hold our Shift and Alt key and transform that car down just a little. Commit our transformation. Even if we slide that car left to right a little bit, keeping the horizon line of the car on the blue line, that car actually looks like the wheels are sitting on the ground and that it matches the horizon of this image. And that is how you check to see if your cutout actually fits into the background of the image that you plan to place it into. In the first example, the car was always floating in the air because the horizon lines did not match. In the second example, the car looks like it belongs in this image. Now, obviously, we would have to put in shadows and fix the lighting and do all the other things we do as a compositor. But the horizon line of this second image matches the original horizon line of the car cutout, and therefore, this car could easily be placed in this background, and it would look like it would be in perspective.